I have a chuck roast that is a little over 3 pounds. I think a chuck roast is the best as it has a lot of fat marbling and will cook to fall apart tender and add a lot of flavor to the vegetables and gravy juices. I'm using my large cast iron pan and my heat is on medium-high. I'm adding in some vegetable oil to coat the bottom and my beef roast that I'm seasoning both sides with some kosher salt and black pepper. I'm letting this cook for a good 3 to 4 minutes on each side so I get a nice brown caramelized crust. This is going to add a lot of good rich flavor. Once done, I'm turning off my heat and removing the beef roast. Just a reminder that I will leave the recipe and the list of ingredients for this classic beef pot roast recipe below this video. Also remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video recipe and click the bell to make sure you receive notification of all my future video recipes. I have my oven preheating to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm layering about 1/4 inch onion slices on the bottom, and I'm adding in a couple sliced garlic cloves and some fresh thyme sprigs. Next, the roast sets on top of the onion slices, and don't forget to pour in all the beef juices. This is 2 cups of beef broth, and this will help keep the meat moist and help form some rich juices for the gravy. I'm also adding a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce for more flavor and a tang. Finally, topping with a sprig of rosemary. The onions will help hold the roast above the liquid level so the meat bakes and does not boil. I'm covering this with foil and baking at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour and 45 minutes, and then I will add the vegetables. The idea is to cook the roast low and slow so the fat renders and the meat becomes nice and tender. For fall-apart tender beef, the internal temp should be about 190 to 195 Fahrenheit. Depending on the size of your roast, you will need to check the internal temp of the roast about every 20 minutes near the end of cooking time. You don't want to overcook the beef because it will become dry. It's been 1 hour and 45 minutes, and I'm basting the roast with some of the juices. If you find your liquid level is low, you may need to add more beef broth. Just be careful because the vegetables will also produce some juices. I'm adding in some chopped celery and baby carrots. You can also add potatoes or any vegetable that you like. This is getting recovered with the foil and baking for another 30 to 45 minutes. It's been 45 minutes and the beef roast is done. The meat is fork tender and smelling really good. I'm removing the beef roast from the pan, covering and letting it rest for 15 to 20 minutes before serving. The vegetables are tender and I'm making beef gravy with all the rich broth. Stay tuned for the next video where I will show you how to make this easy, delicious, rich beef gravy from scratch. I'm serving tonight with some mashed potatoes. If you would like to see how to make creamy and fluffy mashed potatoes, I will leave a link here and also in the Show More section below. The roast beef is so tender. This is such an easy, delicious, comforting meal. I hope you give this cast iron pot roast dinner a try and enjoy. I have made this recipe so many different ways over the years. This Italian pot roast is so rich and satisfying that it will feed a hungry crew. It is a great way to use leftover veggies, and you can serve with pasta, rice, potatoes, or I've even served over a thick piece of toasted garlic Parmesan bread. In my cast iron pan on medium high, I'm adding some avocado oil and about a 3-pound beef chuck roast. I trimmed most of the outer fat and seasoned the side down with some salt and black pepper, and I'm doing the same with this side. I'm cooking each side for about 2 to 3 minutes to get a good sear and lock in those juices. This will add a tremendous amount of flavor to my dish. Once each side has a nice crust, I'm removing from the pan and setting to the side. Remember not to throw away the juices. You can find this recipe and a list of ingredients in the description box below. I'm making this in my slow cooker and cooking on high for about 4 to 5 hours, but you can also do this in a 325-degree oven for about 3 to 4 hours. Just keep checking and basting the roast with the sauce every hour or so. In my slow cooker, I have 1 can of tomato sauce and crushed tomatoes. In goes some tomato paste, a little sugar to counter the acidity, and some black pepper. And now for my seasonings. I'm adding some Italian seasonings, oregano, basil, and a little marjoram. I really like the taste of marjoram with the beef. A good healthy dose of minced garlic, and I had some fresh chopped parsley on hand. This might seem like a lot of seasonings, but I have a lot of veggies and meat to flavor. And then in goes my vegetables. I have 1 very large sliced onion, some roughly chopped celery with the tops and all, some leftover sliced bell peppers, mushrooms, and baby carrots. You can use whatever veggies you like or have on hand. If you like this Italian beef pot roast recipe, please remember to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment below. You can also find me and more of what I'm cooking on Facebook and Tess Cooks For You blog. Giving that a gentle but good toss to make sure everything is well coated. And on top goes the beef roast. And don't forget all those good pan juices. Just going to toss some sauce and veggies on top as much as I can. As this cooks, the roast will melt down into the sauce and eventually will be submerged. I will check on it and give it a good stir every hour or so. And this is the Italian pot roast after 4.5 hours. The kitchen smells amazing. As you can see, the roast is done and falling apart. Going to take the roast out and let it rest for about 15 minutes, and we will fix a plate. Depending on how fatty your beef roast is, you may need to skim off some excess fat, or you can let this cool, refrigerate, and then skim off the excess fat. You saw how fatty my chuck roast was in the middle, and I just had a little to skim after refrigerating. Not much at all. Serving tonight with rice. This is an easy, rich, and hearty dinner. I hope you give this one a try. Enjoy. If you like this video recipe, please remember to hit the like and subscribe button to receive my future recipes. Please feel free to share my channel with your friends and family. It really helps my channel grow and it is greatly appreciated. And until next time, much love.